Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Dan Hendriksen here. We are at St Mellion Estates here today, and they've kindly allowed us to come down here and do some filming of this real golf series that I've got here for you. And we've got the short bunker shot. Now Paul was playing, we were playing at Minchinhampton this week, and my brother Paul had a short little bunker shot that he had on the first hole. And I just wanted to sort of share with you some of the sort of thoughts that go through his mind when he's got such a short, delicate shot when coming out of the bunker. I see so many players smashing into the sand, not getting a great deal of control, and I'm hoping that today you might be able to learn something from Paul that might be able to help you with your game. Don't forget, if you like what you're seeing from this real golf series, hit that subscribe button. We've got lots more of these videos to come your way. But now let's go and catch up with Paul and see how he gets on out of this bunker. So Paul's just gone, we're still COVIDing here at the moment, so he's taken a little bit of a lie. Nicely out, in. Oh! That was dancing. So that shot out of the first there at Minchinhampton was pretty straightforward bunker shot, wasn't it? Nothing too drastic, but it was still a delicate one because you didn't have a great deal of green to work with. No. I see when I play in these pro-ams and things and see players that they give it a good old whack, whatever's going on, just to get as much sand involved and get the ball out as quickly as possible. What's your take on that, Paul? What do you do?
Well, if I'm short-sided, so that means the pin's closest to you, and you've got not much green to work with, I think you've got to have a few things that have got to work in your favour first. You've got to have a good lie, and you've also got to have maybe slight upslope to play off. If you're on any sort of downslope, you've got no chance of getting it up and stopping. So you've got to have those two things kind of working in your favour, and I'm pretty sure that's what I had at Minchinhampton. They were working in my favour. Just on that, when you know, because there's lots of people that are watching this that probably that don't really know what we talk about a lot of the time. You know, when you've got a shot that's on the downslope, what's the negativity of being on a slight downslope with that? It's just difficult to get any height on the shot and to get any stop. So they're generally going to come out lower. And if it comes out lower, you're just going to, you know, when you've got shots like this where you've got to clear the lip and then stop it quickly the other side, you've just got no chance.
So coming out lower, getting over the lip, that descent angle coming in a bit shallower, so it skips forward rather than sort of drop and stop. Definitely. So having a decent lie is important because you want to make sure you get the right connection with sand. And we've noticed when we've had COVID bunkers where we've been placing all the time, well, I've noticed that my bunker play has got so much better because every time you've got a perfect lie. And I've found that actually, if you give me a good lie, I'm relatively good. You give me a bad lie, you can definitely see it drop off. And I think having those COVID bunkers was a good help actually. A good way to practice. But COVID bunkers have gone, certainly in the UK. I don't know what it's been like around the rest of the world, but with now coming back to normal golf scenario, we don't have that luxury, do we, anymore? So technique now becomes even more important.
It does, and also knowing your limitations of what you can do out of that lie as well is important.
And how much you practice. So limitations being how much you get a chance to practice, you know, what the lie is like, what the lip is like, and how much green you got to work with. So we've got a short shot here now. So we've got a very tight pin position on a downslope just after this little lip here. But your lie's okay.
Lie's good. Which is important on this shot. The sand, also you need to judge the sand. You know, how much sand have you got underneath the ball is going to be critical to this shot. So you need a little bit of sand to be able to get the club up because you're going to need to open the face a lot, which is going to add more bounce. So you're going to need fluffy sand at this point as well. So which we've got here.
And I don't want to go too detailed, but just quickly give an overview of what you mean by the bounce on the club and how that's going to work.
The bounce is the lowest point of the club, so it's that angle between the leading edge and the back of the club.
Trailing edge,
That's your bounce angle. So when we add loft, which is what we're going to need to do and open the club face, that you can see that bounce angle is going to increase. Now, if you've not got enough sand underneath the ball, or the sand is hard, it's just going to bounce too much, and the leading edge will hit on the equator rather than underneath the ball. So you've just got to gauge what sort of sand you're playing out at first before you go open in the face too much.
Okay. So shot we've got them.
Yeah, so I've also noticed with these shorter shots I've been trying to put into my game, I've been trying to keep my swing a little bit longer but keep it really slow.
Okay.
So sometimes I feel I get a bit too quick and a bit short with the bunker shots, and that kind of results in a shot that comes out a bit hotter. So I've kind of trying to add into my game over time is a slightly longer but slower swing that keeps this continuous. You know, what you don't want to do if you get slow, you don't want to stop too quick as you go through, because the sand will just kill it. So you've got to keep the momentum going through, so keeping the length on the swing on the way through is what helps and allows you to go a bit slower with the shot.
Yep.
So I'm going to play this just off the left heel. Probably got about 70-80% of my weight on my left side, so it's on the forward foot. I'm going to open the face quite wide on the shot because we've got to get this stopping really short.
Maximum loft, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm just going to try and keep a nice long slow swing going through.
Okay, so not decelling into the shot.
No, not at all.
But just still smooth acceleration, but keeping the tempo pretty much the same. Okay, nice. Still a good thump down into the sand though.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're accelerating down into the sand, or are you
not
trying
necessarily
to
down,
almost picking it up off the top?
Yeah, none of those really. Just trying to hit it maybe 2 to 4 inches behind the ball, and just let the club, trying to not let the sand grab the club too much because it can stop it very soon. So I'm exaggerating the follow through, but not with any speed, but just keeping the momentum going. So slow and following up, just to make sure it goes through the sand okay.
So one of the things that I see a lot with certainly amateur golfers is that they tend to want to help the ball in the air.
Yeah.
And which is an absolute no-no. I see there when you were playing that shot that you kept the weight forward.
Yeah.
You kept maintain that position where you're keeping that weight on your front leading leg, not feeling like you're falling backwards to try and help the ball get up and over that lip.
The height is given to you by adding loft to the shot.
Yeah.
That's what's going to give you the height. You don't need to add it into the swing at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Lots of different ways to play different types of bunker shots, but hopefully there's something you can take from Paul's method of how he gets himself back into position and plays those small little delicate shots out of the bunkers. But a couple of key areas that I picked up on there: make sure you manage the loft and the bounce on your club, and if you need to go and have a chat with someone, go and seek out your PGA Pro, have a chat with them about the wedge that you use out of bunkers, and just make sure you've got the right one suited for your game. Obviously, Paul saying there is, evaluate the situation, look at the lie that you've got. Coming out of this COVID era, certainly in the UK, we can now in a position where we're not placing anymore. We're raking up bunkers as normal. Therefore, you're going to get into some lies that aren't quite exactly how you want it. So just make sure you manage that situation. If you like what you're seeing from these real golf experiences, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel because we've got a lot more to come your way. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again very soon.